Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. This is part 2 of the Rosebud Lace cardigan pattern, and I've started the left front and I've cast on 29 stitches and I've knit 10 rows of 1 by 1 twisted rib, and then I've started the pattern. Only I'm showing you how I'm doing this pattern. This is the back, and when I started the pattern on the back, I started with the rosebud lace near the edge here. But when I've started the side, I've started with the second part, this part of the rosebud lace, so that you get a similar space between the rosebuds here, like that, and with this part up here. That's why I've started with the second part of the pattern. It keeps it more even. So that's why I've started with that part, and I'll show you what I have written down so far for this. I'll write a bit more and come back when unfolding this, because it's creased up. So I've started the left front here, down here, where I've just said I've cast on 29 stitches and knit 1 by 1 rib for 10 rows, and then the 4 rows in stocking stitch. And then I've started with the pattern from row 5. That's after the 4 rows of stocking stitch. I've started with row 5, and I've knit 7, knit 2 together, yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, and knit 5, and then repeat. I put the star at the start and finish, just repeat from there to there, and you'll end with knit 7. And then the row 6 and every alternate row is purl, which is the same as what I've done for the back. And I've got a bit more down here. I've wrote for the row 7 and then rows 8 to 12 in stocking stitch, and then row 13, row 15, and row 16 to 20 stocking stitch. That's as far as I've got on here. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the pattern and show you. So I'm going to knit 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm following with this the first row. So as you know, the center stitch there, that is your center stitch in the middle of the rosebud. So you start with knit 2, yarn forward, knit 1 stitch, yarn forward again, slip 1 stitch, knit 1 stitch, pass that slip stitch over, then knit 5 stitches. 3, 4, 5, and then again knit 2 stitches together, yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1 stitch, knit 1 stitch, and pass the slip stitch over, and then you'll knit to the end, which will be 7 stitches. 4, 5, 6, 7. And only having a small number of stitches, you only do the lace pattern twice on that row. It's three times on the second part of it. And I'm going to just purl across that row now. I'll meet you at the end of that row, and I'm on to the last 3 stitches. It's my needle hitting the table. And the next row I'm going to knit 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 stitches. Bring the yarn forward, knit 2 together, knit 5, no, it's not 5, sorry, it's 8. 6, 7, 8. I'm onto the wrong row. Yarn forward, knit 2 together, and then knit to the end of that row. And that's all it is, just following the pattern. Then you've got another 4 rows to knit, and then you start with this part of the pattern. But if you just follow my instructions, it tells you that what number of stitches to start with, you know, knit 9 and knit 2 and knit 4. So that's, I'll show the other little bit on here and give you a little bit longer to, maybe there's anybody that wants to pause it and write it down or take a screenshot. But I will, when I finish this, I will put the whole pattern up. So I'll do a little bit more and come back with this. Now I've done up to the armhole. I'm going to cast off 3 stitches on the right side row. It's 1, 2, 3, and this is the just after the rosebud pattern, so I've got 4 rows of plain knitting to do. So I'm going to knit across the row. And I'll meet you at the end of that row. And I'm at the last 3 stitches to knit those 3 stitches. I'm going to purl across the next row. And now I'll meet you at the end of that row. And I'm at my last 3 stitches. Next row is a decreasing row. I'm going to knit 1 stitch, slip the next stitch, knit the next stitch, and then pass that slip stitch over. And that's how I'm decreasing on this, the left side. Now I have to knit across this row. Now I'll meet you at the end of that row. And at the last 3 stitches again. And I have to purl across this row. I will meet you at the end of that row. And again I'm at my last 3 stitches. And the next row it's another decreasing row. I'm decreasing on every other row, the alternate rows. We've also done 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm on to another rosebud lace. And the next rosebud lace you count from the one, not from this one, from the second one down, and find the centre stitch up here. That's the centre stitch there. That stitch there, if you follow it all the way down to that centre stitch. So that means there's 2 stitches here to knit together and the 3 stitches for the decreasing. So I'll knit 1 stitch, slip 1, knit 1, pass that slip stitch over, and then this next 2 stitches I'm going to knit 2 together, bring the yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass that slip stitch over, knit 5, then I'm going to knit 2 together, yarn forward, knit 1, yarn forward, slip 1, knit 1, pass that slip stitch over and knit to the end of the row. That's 7 stitches to the end of the row. And that's how you do the decreasing. And that's how you work out where you find that is the centre stitch of the rosebud. You just go from 2 rosebuds down and follow it up to where the stitch is that you need to do the decreasing on the, or to make the holes. And you're taking 1 stitch off just on the armhole edge, and I'll get back to you when I get up to the neck part. And that's the left side finished. And after I finished the cast the stitches off and decreased up here, I kept decreasing until there was 15 stitches left. Till I had 15 stitches, yes. And then I cast off 4 stitches here and purled across. That was on the purl row, purled across. And then I decreased as usual at the armhole edge, and then I decreased 1, 2, 3 stitches on the next 3 rows. So the knit stitch, the knit row, the purl row and the knit row. And then the next row I purled across and I decreased once again on the knit row on both the armhole edge and the neck edge. And then I kept on decreasing until there was 2 stitches left, and I purled those 2 stitches together, and that's the end of the tutorial for the left side. I'll break this down a little bit so no too far. so you can see it better there. And when you come to do the right side, you just reverse the shaping. So the next tutorial I'll be doing will be the sleeve. So for anybody that wants to see this pattern again, I'll show you it from the start. That's for the back, up to the left front here. And then that's the last of it, up to the last purl two together. So anybody that wants to copy that can just pause the video and either write it down themselves or take a screenshot if you know how to do that. So that's the end of this part of the tutorial. Like I said, the next part will be the sleeve. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll show you the next part when I get it done. I'll probably go on to the sleeve before I do the other side so I can keep the tutorial going. So bye for now.